morning, I'm Agustín Zepeda for NewZtar Intelligence. Here is your global briefing for Saturday, June 6, 2026. US forces have struck Iranian radar installations after Iranian drones attacked near the Strait of Hormuz. The conflict is now approaching its 100-day mark, with the strait remaining mostly closed to commercial shipping. Kuwait intercepted Iranian ballistic missiles as the crisis threatens global oil supplies. But here is where the coverage diverges. American and European outlets frame this as an ongoing military conflict, while some financial media describe a shaky ceasefire that may not exist. Chinese state media is completely silent on the Iran conflict, a strategic omission given traditional alliances. Switzerland's central bank has cut interest rates by 50 basis points to 0.5% in an unusually aggressive move. The dollar surged immediately following the announcement, jumping 0.5% against the franc. The Bank of England decision comes Thursday as central banks respond to oil war economic damage. But here is where the coverage diverges. European financial media treat this as an emergency response to war-driven economic crisis, while American outlets frame it as a routine technical policy adjustment. No sources explain what specific Swiss economic data triggered this unusually large move right now. Israeli airstrikes in Lebanon have killed 9 people, including Lebanese army officers, despite a ceasefire agreement. A separate strike killed at least 6 people at a wedding in Gaza. 9 Palestinians were wounded in a West Bank settler rampage, with video showing an IDF soldier beating a man. But here is where the coverage diverges. American media emphasizes these as ceasefire violations, suggesting broken agreements, while Middle Eastern outlets question whether a valid ceasefire actually exists at all. European coverage focuses heavily on alleged flotilla abuse, while US outlets downplay that angle. Ukrainian drones have conducted what Russia calls an unprecedented attack on St. Petersburg, marking a significant escalation in strikes on Russian territory. The attack represents the deepest Ukrainian drone penetration into Russia to date. Russian state media is providing heavy coverage emphasizing the civilian threat. But here is where the coverage diverges. Russian state media provides heavy coverage emphasizing threats to civilians and unprecedented nature, while American outlets treat this as one item among many global stories. European media frames it as Ukrainian strategic success. Russian coverage frames it as terrorism. Pope Leo XIV is conducting his first foreign visit to Spain, addressing political and social polarization in the country. The visit comes as the new pope establishes his diplomatic approach distinct from his predecessor. Spanish political divisions over regional autonomy and secularism frame the visit's context. But here is where the coverage diverges. European outlets treat this as a major diplomatic event, addressing democratic polarization, while American media provides minimal coverage focusing only on the religious aspects. Chinese and Russian state media completely ignore the story, despite geopolitical implications. Peru is electing its 10th president in a decade amid ongoing political instability and institutional crisis. The election reflects chronic governmental dysfunction that has plagued the country since 2016. Electoral volatility continues to undermine economic development and anti-corruption efforts. But here is where the coverage diverges. American media frames this primarily as a democracy and governance crisis, while Chinese state media focuses narrowly on investment security and mining sector stability. European outlets emphasize anti-corruption angles that US coverage downplays. That is your NewZtar Intelligence briefing for Saturday, June 6, 2026. News in every angle, every morning. I'm Agustín Zepeda. Stay informed.